good life. As the song that I dedicated to Al indicated, Al gave anything and everything to anyone. That's how he loved and lived his life. Al will be missed by the brother sorely. Brother just spoke to me and said we have to find somebody to take his place. We can't find anyone to take Al's place. We might be able to find someone to fill in, but we can't find anybody to take Al's place, and we want you to understand that.
I first met Alvin in the late 70s when I first became affiliated with Philip Alumni Chapter. And we always would discuss politics, national politics, local politics, international politics. At that time I was very politically active, and he always found time to discuss politics with me.
And then when I just began to reflect on the many different kinds of things that Al was involved in, I mean, Al was ubiquitous. He was all over the place. I don't care what the organization was. For somehow, so some reason or other, Al would show up. In fact, with his camera, and I used to tease him. I said, "Hey, Al, you working for the Enquirer or what?" You know. And of course, he would just smile and just go on his workable ways.
Most that Al was a brother and a man of very few words, but he was a very effective communicator. He led by example. He would not commit to a task unless he was going to follow through, and he always followed through.
Fondest memories of Al, Brother Vaughn, are that his quiet demeanor, his humility, and his willingness to be of service. Many times on various committees he couldn't be there, but he would always communicate, share his ideas, was always a force for positiveness and moving the chapter forward. He was a shining example of Phi Nu Pi. He's an example of brotherhood at its best, and we would be remiss if we did not share this legacy with future generations of Kappa and also future generations of black men. That's why it's so important that this film be shared, because those who may not have known Al Vaughn can listen to the stories and the tales and the experiences and the anecdotes of the brothers and glean from that what it means to be
He had
Catholic.
3 annual fundraisers that had not been successful. They were the barn dance, the Thanksgiving dance, and the Easter dance. And Al, by himself, sold hundreds of tickets. And those dances were held at the old Imperial Ballroom at 60th and Market. And they became huge success. And suddenly our chapter became very prosperous. As a matter of fact, we loaned money to the Philadelphia alumni. Now, Al never got credit for that. But he wasn't the type of person who wanted credit. He didn't seek glory. You know, for him, getting the job done was the most important thing.
And I met Al when I came to Philadelphia, Reverend Sullivan, in Providence Plaza at a store named Ducky's Dashery in Providence Plaza in 1968. And Al, at that time, Al used to come by. We always talked history and politics and business, you know, community stuff. We did the whole thing. And Al was a guy behind the scene. I always admired him because he always came by because he cared. I used to tell him my problems about the business. We used to talk about politics. We talk about education.
We talked frequently on the phone. And of course, he sent me emails, everything going on. And he made pictures. And he always would say, "Just one more." And the brothers would laugh about that. But it's been a wonderful experience with Brother Vaughn, and of course we look forward to do something in his name and the Alumni Association, which we will do shortly.
Al has always been about education, about brothers' achievement, and that has been an earmark of his life.
I just want to say, Al was the one. When we first got the Christmas card every year, I said, "How do you do this with all the things that you have to do?" And he said, "Oh, well, he has his setup." On the email, I saw notes from Al, as soon as somebody was sick or somebody got some special awards educationally or whatever, he was one of the first ones to compliment them. He certainly complimented my husband Walter and I when our children got their degrees at each level. He was so encouraging. I was out in California checking the emails, and lo and behold, there's a note about Al. I said, what? I just saw him on Facebook. And can you imagine, Facebook? How in the world did I get on Facebook? Well, my daughter came home during the Christmas holiday, so I wanted to say, oh, what is this all about? And then lo and behold, I signed up for it. And whose friend did I see on there? One said that he'll be a friend of mine, Alvin Vaughn.
I have a question about a student or a situation at University of Phoenix. I often thought to myself, what would Al do? How would Al handle that situation? What grade would Al give them? How would Al speak to them? Then the answer would come to my mind because I've had these conversations with Al so many times, and he would always say, Victoria, the students are scholars. Treat them that way. The students are scholars.
Spirit of the Nguzo Saba, I praise God for Al and Eloise. I remember the last time I was in your home, Al and I were in the kitchen talking. He knows everything about everything. He quizzed me on my new position as a distinguished educator, and he was able to give me insight to many of my districts that I would potentially be visiting. But he was so creative and stimulating, and I found him to be a supreme intellect with a very gentle spirit that drew you out and in to the conversation.
Yeah, Pat and I came up to kind of reflect, and Vaughn was such a unique individual. And I think what strikes me is that it would take at least a minimum of 10 to 15 individuals just to do the things that he did, not just for Kappa, but for a lot of different organizations. And somehow he always showed up at funerals, at hospitals, the emails, sent cards, and I think that so many people commented on that because even though we take it for granted, that is really a kind of a rare quality. Pat, you would agree?
Yes.
Okay, I like that.
There's just been so many things that have touched me, and the experiences, every experience that I've had with Al. Al, he stepped in, had me over his house as I wrote my concept paper for my dissertation. He has been very, very supportive in everything. He's just he was a great human being. I wish our world could model ourselves after Dr. Alvin Vaughn.
We go back more than a half a century in North Philly, and I got to tell you, he moved so fast, so he didn't waste or lose a minute of time. And now time is his forever. And we'll miss him dearly. And we've got to carry on the work that he started, and it's up to us to finish it.
And his emails will certainly be a missing part of my daily read.
God, his emails. He invented the email.
And he kept us all connected one way or another.
With all of the things that he kept in all of the pockets that he could find in his coat, his pants, his shirt, they were filled with rolled up papers. I don't know if he ever read all of that stuff he used to carry, but that was Al.
And I think he knew everybody in Philadelphia.
Yes, he was a good North Philly boy, a good brother. He was and is a good brother.
And as his obituary said, a true philanthropist.